Hello, everyone, and welcome to Irish Uncensored. I am Tyler, and this is my buddy Grant. How you going, man?
Oh, I'm going real good. Going real good. If I had to call it anything, I'd say it was good.
Yeah, good is good. So we're gonna break down the Syracuse game. Kind of a strange game.
Yes.
A really
Strange,
strange
strange in some
game.
aspects. And we're
So this is gonna be more of a quick breakdown. We're like our thoughts instead of play by play like we normally do. It's a little late, but we still wanted to get it in. Grant bet some money, so let's talk about that off the bat. Let's just
yeah,
because it kind of feeds into the first quarter anyway.
yeah. Okay. So if you followed us at all, you know that I was 3-0 going into the Syracuse game as far as like pretty big Notre Dame bets. Before the game, I wagered 220 on the Notre Dame money line at plus 112. And it I tilt when I bet, no matter what the amount of money. So we're about halfway through the first quarter, and it is just like the officiating of the game, the calls. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I
So
took
at
a
this point, I
small
think it was
dub.
7-7. Yeah. So it was 7-7, and we had what call was it? There was a
There was
shit.
they didn't call an offsides where their guy legitimately hit
Oh
our center while
yeah,
the
that's
ball was
right.
still in his hand and didn't call it, and that was it stalled the drive completely, and that was after a celebration penalty on a pick six on a college kid. That was after a missed face mask on the kickoff that wasn't a face mask, and after about me saying three missed holdings on Syracuse.
Grant says holding on every other play, so I don't know about all those. I don't agree with all of
Not
those.
all
Like,
of
but
them.
you were like, we're getting cooked. They're in it. They're going after Notre Dame like they're for Syracuse the whole first quarter. And I want to say it was near the end when it was 7-7. You decided to cash out.
Yep. Yep. But I decided to cash out. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, and I wish I wouldn't have. So I had won more money, but ultimately still 4-0 because I actually ended up retaking Notre Dame money line with just less money on the line.
Yeah.
Um,
So me and Bryce, who Bryce has been on with us on Saturdays, his brother, we're on like a stream together, just talking about the game during the game. We were telling him like it's way too early to be pulling this bet, and Notre Dame just really moved the ball down the field every fucking time they had the ball.
every
And
time.
and at this point in the game, like we had the ball twice, we moved it down both times, and the second time we got a penalty or something and had to punt. I don't even specifically remember, but at the time we were just grooving. Or was that when we missed the field goal?
We also missed the field goal in the middle of my tilt. That also made me tilt a
Yeah.
little bit
So
harder.
at this point, we were just like, man, I think we look good, but Grant couldn't stand it. I think you gained $8 or something.
Oh yeah, it was not a significant amount. And
So
after I rebet it, I only ended up about $50, but up is up, and
yeah,
4-0
yeah,
on
that's
the big
still
call
good.
still. But yeah, I'm definitely a tilter. No matter how much money I bet, it could be $2.50, and I'm tilting. So
So after a kind of a weird back and forth first quarter with a lot of strange penalties, and I don't. Grant says we were getting cooked. I don't think that, but
from what
it,
I've seen after, from like Pete Sampson, Brian Driscoll, like just different guys who like really get into it and break down Notre Dame very, very well. Um, they thought the same that the
yeah.
ACC
Well,
officiating was shit.
I
That
definitely think it was
maybe
shit,
not to the
but I
extent that I said, because they also
yeah.
pointed out there were calls that we got the benefit of the doubt on, which I'm sure there were, but the holdings were egregious. Like it was like you just see the guy trying to pull away and the whole jersey is yanked. I mean, it was just something that you couldn't really avoid seeing on TV. And if it was like that on TV, I can't imagine in person. Or you know what the other one was, Tyler? Before we get away from this, when the ref ran in and stopped our guys from running the hurry up offense on the
That
goal
was
line,
bad. That was the
and we
one
did
that I
not
agree with
sub.
was really bad. They stopped the hurry up offense for no reason.
All this happened in the first quarter. That was the
Yeah.
problem. If this had been over the course of a game, I would have been like, okay, that's they still suck. But in the first quarter, all this stuff happened, and I just couldn't do it. Couldn't take it.
So after the first quarter, it's 7-7. We get the ball, then we score a touchdown to Logan Diggs, 3-yard run. I think Estime moved the ball most of the way down the field on that one.
He's a beast, dude. They both are.
Yeah, fucking Tyreek. What am I doing? Tyree is like our number 3 now.
Yeah, that's kind of how it seems. He's more of like a gimmicky, gadgety,
Yeah.
Theo Riddick.
I would have never guessed that. Yeah, Theo Riddick is exactly who comes to mind. It's like we have too many cooks in the kitchen, and he's the one getting left out. And it's not really his fault. It's just the other guys are doing so well.
Well, and he's just small. He's just not your typical, I'm going to run it down your throat back. So that could have been part of the game plan as well. He may be more worked in versus Clemson if his speed is what is needed. But when you have a 230-pound running back and you're trying to run it down somebody's throat, you give them the damn
we
ball.
did. Like Syracuse couldn't do a fucking thing against Notre Dame. Not defensively, you know.
And when you play, you and I are both major haters on 3-down linemen, and they did it repeatedly. Not only did they do it repeatedly, they were extremely undersized. And while we didn't get to do our normal Syracuse pregame show that we like to do, if you joined us for Saturday or listened at all, we discussed like why we liked betting on that Notre Dame game or didn't. And one of the things that I had said was we were so much bigger than Syracuse up front that I just felt like we were going to bully them. And literally from the jump, just bullied them. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. So we're up now 21-7 after a late second quarter Jaden Thomas touchdown from Pine. Really just moving, and we get the ball back again, move the ball down the field a little bit. I want to say we punted and then they punted.
Yeah.
And then we got it back, kicked a field goal. And then at this point, we're up 24-7. Grant's going, God damn it. I shouldn't have cashed out.
Yeah.
But at this point, that's when they start to do a little bit. They kick a field goal, get the ball back, and then score a quick touchdown. Now we're only up 7. And I'm just thinking, like, Syracuse isn't that bad of a team.
Yep.
This is scary. Like one reason I wasn't scared is because we moved the ball every time we touched the ball.
Yep.
And that was like the only thing that I just didn't really worry me, but still it's games like this where we should have it in the bag and we're only up 7 that you allow a team back and then something goes wrong.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was the thing. Like when it got to 24-17 in my mind, well, I would never root for Notre Dame to lose. I was thinking, thank God I cashed out.
Yeah, dude, you could be up like 40 and they could score 2 quick touchdowns. You'd be like, oh my God, what if they come back?
Tell me that based on what you've seen from this team so far this year, that wouldn't be par for the course to be winning a game like that and then have somebody come back.
Yeah, I feel you. I wouldn't have put as much money, or really, I just wasn't as confident as you in this game. But when it started, I was.
Yeah.
It was like once I saw it, I really felt like we had the game. Then in the fourth quarter, we start out with a touchdown, and I want to say we picked it and then got on the 2-yard line, or was it a fumble? And we scored again. So we scored a back-to-back, like within a minute. We scored 14 more points.
I think it was.
That's right. Yeah. So another block punt. We're fucking on fire on special teams.
Yeah, dude. All those years under Brian Polian, and we have 1 year of Brian Mason, and it's like, dude, like we almost return every punt for a few yards at the very least.
Yeah, that's a big positive.
We blocked, I think, 5 punts this year
in the last like 2 or 3 games.
Well, we blocked 2 against UNLV from Foskey, and we blocked this one with Clarence Lewis. So, I mean, the special teams is on fire right now. Like, if we return to kick or a punt, that's about the only other icing you could put on the cake for the year in special teams. I mean, they're just doing the job.
And obviously, to start the game, we had a first play pick, which is our second one this year. We forgot to mention that. First play interception.
Pick
How
6.
fucking crazy is that? And it was a pick 6, of course.
To the preseason All-American Brandon Joseph.
Yep. So we're up 38-17 with like 7 minutes left. They get a quick strike, and then we go down and kick a field goal and it's over. Even though it did get within 7 at one point, Syracuse only had 286 yards. They had 2 turnovers, and they had the ball for 22 of the 60 minutes this game. If that doesn't say it all right there, like we had the ball 38 minutes.
Well, I mean, listen to this. Our stat lines estimate 20 carries, 123 yards. Diggs 20 carries, 85 yards. Tyree 8 carries, 23 yards. Evans did 2 quarterback sneaks, and Pine ran the ball technically 4 times. I mean, dude, 50, 54 rushing attempts in a game. Holy shit.
That we just took advantage of what we had. We saw it early, and they just kept doing it. It's like one of those things, you know, how you see a team run up the middle over and over, and it's like, what are you doing? Well,
Yeah.
it was the opposite, because
Yeah.
we'd run up the middle for 8 yards. We're like, let's do that again. We'd do 8 more yards. Like, okay,
Yeah.
are you going to bring like 9 in the box, or are you just going to let us
They
run you to
didn't.
death?
That's the thing. I
They
felt
never
like they didn't.
tried.
I don't. If they loaded the box, they were deceptively loading the box, because on TV, we'd see 3 down, 2 linebackers waiting, and they'd
They
be
were
4 or
running
5
that
yards
like
off the
4
line
and
of scrimmage.
5-man DB weird shit, which is funny because we don't have receivers to be worrying about like that.
No, we don't.
It was ugly, but we also would go straight out of the eye kind of shit and just still run it down their throats, even with a packed box. It didn't
The
really matter
estimate
what
at
they did.
fullback was like just such a nice, just a nice touch to the everything. Like opening up the game with a guy who's fumbled the ball numerous times this year in big situations, and you just feed him, and he's just eating, boosting that confidence. I like that they went back to him for that.
No, this game, I have really been all over this year on this team, but this game made me feel good because I think Syracuse has already proven to be a good team.
Yeah.
And they played good against Clemson, who we have next. We'll get into that in a soon to come video. But I'm feeling good. I think we're going to put up a fight against Clemson after this game.
Yeah. I mean, it might be more than a fight. I mean, the opening line opened at Clemson was 5.5-point favorites. Right now, it's down to 3.5 with potential.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to say the money line was about plus 150 for Notre Dame last time I looked, and 75% of the money is on the Clemson spread and the Clemson money line as of now. I'm kind of looking to see if that will tilt more on Saturday. If you guys get the chance, I think we may be able to do this again about 9 a.m. on Saturdays. We've been going live with some of our favorite picks. I had a very abysmal week on the picks outside of my Notre Dame nuke. I think I went 0-3. Tyler, I'm not sure what you went, but
I think I was 2-1. I'll have to look into it though, and we'll revisit that on Saturday and go through what our record is and everything. But it's still been fun, and you're still hitting, so I'm feeling good. If you're feeling good about Notre Dame money line, which hopefully you are, then I'm feeling good about us because you're technically 4-0 on your feeling, whether you technically gained that money or not.
That was the first time of all the bets that I've cashed out, and honestly, I'm surprised that was the one that I tilted on the hardest. But when you think about it, in a sense, we jumped out on North Carolina. We were winning against Ohio State at halftime, and BYU we were all over as well. I wish I would have listened to you and Bryce about not cashing, but still came up a little bit. So we'll see what I'm feeling for this game. There's going to be 2 more opportunities to bet Notre Dame if you're into it, and that's going to be this week for Clemson, whether it be the spread or the money line, and against USC when we're probably not favored again. These are the last 2 opportunities. So if you're about it, join us on Saturday to discuss it.
Yep, and we talk about other teams as well, just random things we like, don't like. It's really just a fun conversation. And one thing I did like about last time is we had people live with us in the chat throwing out things that they liked, and they were right about some things and wrong about some things about the Penn State game, and that was fun.
Yeah, he was spot on, man. They battled.
Yep, but I did get that one right. The Ohio State over. Ohio State scored 2 touchdowns in like the last 30 seconds or something.
It always helps when they just help. Like it will literally look like so sad and pathetic that you picked over at first, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it
Um,
was not even close, but I was like, it's still possible. You never know. And then it ended up hitting way over.
that shit was awful. I know my Wake Forest pick. God, that was ugly. And Oklahoma State, dude.
Dude, I had the over on that one. I didn't know Oklahoma State was going to get fucking shut out by
I
trash Kansas State.
it was. I mean, it's embarrassing to have those be your picks of the week, but I know a ton of people that were on those picks as well, and it was like, what
Kansas
else
State
can you
almost
do?
hit the over by themselves, too. That's the craziest part. If Oklahoma State just put together a good drive, it would have been over.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So,
That conference is
um,
fucking trash. I hate on the Big Ten a lot, but
yeah,
trash. Big
yeah.
12, fucking trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even watch the Oklahoma State game. I checked the ESPN score and it was 21-0 in the first quarter, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I just stopped looking because it was like, "How? What happened?"
Yeah. I mean, against Kansas State and with how high potent of offenses they have and shit defenses, I expected them to do something at
Yeah, I
some
just didn't
point.
expect that. Yeah,
Dude, crazy. But I guess that's about all we have today. Just a really quick recap. And we'll be back soon for sure on Saturday morning. Maybe we'll even go live during the game. We'll see about all that. But until then, go Irish.
go Irish.